Welcome back, viewers, to the Young Turks Dialogues, episode number 28. And
Yeah.
today we'll be delving into the world of e-commerce and marketplaces. So,
So,
in this
Ashwin,
pod,
why not first you tell the audience how this topic came into the picture about, it's an interesting story that we were discussing yesterday and explaining our friend about the dynamics of e-commerce and marketplaces. So just tell the audience about that. Today, I will take the lead of the host to begin the episode.
all right. Let's begin with like what we will be discussing. We'll be discussing obviously the world of e-commerce. We'll discuss how what works in that. We'll discuss what is a marketplace and best part and what we do as a team at Crobstacle is we deal in technology, right? On one. So
Right.
we'll be discussing what is the right technology for each of them. Uh, and now about the story, we were both Anmol and I. We were on a conference call with a good friend of ours in Australia, and he came up with an idea that he wants to. Well, in his mind, he wanted an e-commerce website. And then he told us, no, I want to put all the groceries, Indian grocery stores. He's an Indian in Australia, and he wanted to put start a bidding platform for all the e-commerce. The grocery stores which deal in Indian grocery on his platform, where all the Indian housewives and the all the Indian and Desi, as they call them, um, uh, diaspora can find out the cheapest item. I mean, let's put it this way: if they want to order atta, they can check which vendor is selling the for the cheapest rate, and they could order it from there. And so we got well. He's in his mind he wanted to have an e-commerce platform. Then we had to tell him that no, this is a marketplace that you want, and that's what gave us the topic for our next podcast today.
Right.
It was just a bulb that lit on our head, and suddenly that, oh, this is what we should talk about because there's a huge gap. And actually, he was not the first person who came up with this. Who was caught up in this dilemma, or who was not aware what a marketplace is, what is e-commerce. So basically, people have ideas, they have brilliant ideas, but they don't know what platforms they want to go for. So now let's begin with understanding what. First of all, I always my favorite topic to talk about, along with Anmol. Anmol will start laughing if I say, let's understand what is market.
Right.
My usual question to the people, my clients, my would-be employees, would-be clients. First question I ask them: Do you know what is a market? So basically, well, like, well, and when people don't understand, I try to explain them in very simple words. Like when we were children, especially in India, going for shopping means going for marketing and going to the market. So
Going to the
they are not,
market.
yes, and which is not entirely wrong if you look at it, because we are going to a place where people are selling things. So uh, and it is not just one person which is selling that particular thing. Suppose if we are going to buy clothes, our mother takes us for example, I live in Bangalore. So if my wife has to buy saris, she'll go to Chickpet. Chickpet is not one shop; it is an entire area. And if you look at it from a small town perspective, it is as big as a small town, right? So it's in the oldest part of Bangalore. But what is Chickpet? It is a market of clothes. I mean, you can go there and you can find variety of not just clothes. They have electronics and stuff like that. But mainly, if women who are interested, or if you want to buy a suit for wedding and all, so there are many huge, massive shops, small shops, uh, which deal in clothes, and you can strike a very good deal out there. So a market is a place. So I always say a market is a platform to sell. And like Chickpet offers you different options where you can go and check out what you want to buy, and who's selling it at the best price, and who's selling you the best brand. and then you do a comparison, and then you, as a customer, you buy it from them. So this is what basically our friend wanted from us. And now, Anmol, coming down to the technical stuff, like let's start, begin by giving the
First, let's
technical,
tell our
yeah,
audience what is
technical
e-commerce
technical
platform, what is
yeah,
a
let's get a little bit
marketplace.
technical,
Yeah,
a brief intro. Let's not bore them too much with it, but
right,
yes,
right, right.
obviously
I think
considering most of
we
our
should start
audience,
with the
yes,
basics here, because
yeah, basic, let's start
90%
with
of the
basics.
people do
uh,
not understand what an
yeah.
e-commerce platform is and what
Yeah.
is an
So for
online
people
market.
who understand what these platforms are, please bear with us. We'll go into the more serious stuff also later on, which is the technology bit of it, where we'll delve into the technology which is actually suitable for each of these platforms. What is best, and Anmol will be getting into the quite hefty,
Yeah,
bringing in
even I have kept the data pointers ready in my mobile to tell our
yeah.
audience more of it and back it with data.
Anmol is open
Uh,
his entire Pandora's box about that as well. But let's
yeah,
start with the basics, Anmol, because see,
yeah,
we get a varied audience, and um,
right,
like our clients, most of them don't understand the difference, or they don't know what is e-commerce, what is marketplace. I mean, most of them actually, 99% of them haven't known so far what is marketplace. E-commerce, they still
right.
have an idea what e-commerce is, but then beyond e-commerce, people don't know, and that proves that they don't entirely know what e-commerce is. So let's begin with e-commerce, and let's go into what is a marketplace.
Yeah. So in simple words, e-commerce website is a website in which there is one seller and there can be a number of buyers. So you are
Hmm.
buying from one company or a one person. So
Right.
it could be like I have a ration dukan and I am selling my products there. So it's a e-commerce website. But if I have multiple vendors on my website
Hmm.
selling their products, it means if I own a shop, Ashwin owns a shop, and let's say person C owns a shop, and we all are on this platform listed.
Hmm.
So that becomes a marketplace because multiple people are coming, listing their products and selling it from there, and even we have multiple buyers. Like
Hmm.
if I give you an example, so if you go to so right now these days when you go on Facebook or you go on Instagram, you get to see multiple brands targeting you with their ads. So for example, Men's XP, for example, even the website of Royal Enfield, it's
Hmm.
a e-commerce website. They are
It is
selling
a,
their own products.
hmm.
It's one
It is a
seller
shop, it
and
is a
n number of
showroom.
buyers.
Yeah, it is a showroom, it is a shop.
It is a
It is,
showroom. It is a shop.
yeah, and it
And when
belongs
I
to
talk
one
about a
individual.
marketplace, it's like a full market. Like Ashwin was just giving you an example of Bangalore, that market in Bangalore. So it's like that only. So for example, Amazon. On Amazon, I can list my products. Ashwin can list his products, and you as the consumer can go and buy anything from there.
You
So
can see
that
the
is the
same stuff for two different prices also. So
right,
depending on
right,
my capacity as a vendor, what is the best value I can give, I put my prices. So this is what basically we are bidding for our
right,
product,
right.
and it's up to the customer to check my reviews and my what I'm selling, maybe the expiry
Exactly.
date also, and buy that.
Marketplaces are very heavy traffic driven, and e-commerce websites cannot be, like they can be and they cannot be
Hmm.
very heavy traffic driven. E-commerce websites, if I give you some statistics, so I got from the internet from a trusted source, Statistica. I am mentioning the source so that they know we are talking about them on the podcast. So for e-commerce, very interesting insight, Ashwin.
Hmm.
US retail e-commerce system generated approximately $856.8 billion in revenue in 2022. It's
That is
close
just
to a
e-com.
trillion. It's
US
close to a
e-com. Oh my God.
yes. Oh my God. So that is, and for I got one for the marketplace as well. So in 2021, 3.23 trillion
Oh
was
my
spent globally on top 100 online marketplaces. And you
God.
know the number one. Who is the number one marketplace?
Mhm.
It's Amazon. So you can imagine how that company has gotten a valuation of more
No
than a trillion
prices for
dollars.
that guess.
Yeah. So these are the interesting facts and figures that I got from the internet, and these are trusted ones. We'll put the link in the description so that you can go and visit and check those graphs. They are pretty interesting. You should check them out. Now, talking about more of e-commerce, how you as a consumer. or you as a business owner, I will say you as a business owner can get an e-commerce website. Now I have given you the basic differences. Now the next thing is you if you own a shop and you want to list your products on it, how you can go for it.
Okay, I
So
mean, sorry, I'll pause you a little bit. So let's break it into. Sorry about that. Let's
no,
break it into what are the types of e-commerce websites and uh, yeah. So what are the types? What are the different platforms also available, and what is uh, the best platform depending on the needs? So let's understand these things about e-commerce first, and then we'll go to.
right. So e-commerce websites, so there are various versions of it, I will say, but at the end, all the websites contain the same functionality, which is you as a customer can go, you as a customer can add the products to the cart, and you as a customer can check out. So there are multiple terms in e-commerce, which is you can say one-step checkout, which Shopify brought into the picture. It's an amazing thing. Even what Amazon did is it's a similar kind of the model that they brought into the picture. So e-commerce websites, their basic functionality is that they should give you a cart functionality, and some websites could be more advanced. They can give you product recommendations. They can give you a wish list. They can give you AI generated based on your interests, what products you might like. So these are some type of e-commerce websites. There is not a proper full structure to it that I will say, because at the end the core functionality of e-commerce is to give you a cart where you can add your product and you can check out. Yeah, of course, you can have subscriptions and all, but the core functionality remains the same. But yeah,
So
talking
in
about the
simple words, it is a
platforms,
digital shopping mall.
yeah, it's a digital shopping mall. Shopping mall is a shopping mall. What you can add is you can add a water slide, but at the end it stays the same. So the same
Right.
similar thing is with an e-commerce website. Now talking about the platforms, yes, in terms of platforms, e-commerce has a lot of it. I will list you the five major of it. Number one is WooCommerce, which you can use it on WordPress or you can use it standalone. And then you have OpenCart, which is a very popular platform in America. Then you have Magento, which is a very popular platform for more of the custom websites. Like if you are a jeweler, I will recommend you go for Magento because it gives you that kind of flexibility that to manage the website. Now, one of the
So
most
what are those
popular.
flexibilities? Let's talk a little bit about Magento. What are those
So,
flexibilities?
generally, first let me tell you the platforms.
Hmm.
Then next is
Okay, yeah.
Shopify,
Like
which is
Shopify,
one of
all
the
everyone's favorite.
biggest platforms on
Yeah,
the e-commerce.
right.
One of the biggest e-commerce platforms on the world in the world, and they are the most popular because it gives you the ease of usage. I won't say the flexibility. I will get down to that
Hmm.
later after listing the platforms. So these are the major platforms that you can use to make your e-commerce website. Of course, if you are a custom coded, if you have a custom company, they can make your custom website. If you have a development agency, or they might go for Joomla and all. But these are the major platforms that companies use. Now, talking about what Ashwin asked, the differences. So, if I talk about, if I make a chart about it, let's say we have WordPress here, we have Shopify, we have Magento, and we have OpenCart. So, if I talk about WordPress is very flexible
Hmm.
in terms of making a website, but it comes at the cost of adding additional plugins.
Hmm.
Okay, that is the thing
So
about
what
WordPress.
by flexibility and more means is adding features to your website.
Right.
I mean, if you want to say custom, even if you want to custom code something into it, if you
Let's
want
say
to.
the best example we can give here is, I think, for the subscription.
Hmm.
Many customers come and they ask that in our product we need subscription, we need to make it a digital product, or
Hmm.
in the shipping details we need this. So these are some of the flexibility features that I am talking about. Now, if I talk about Shopify, so how Shopify is, let's take example of our iPhones. They
Hmm.
have a set architecture, they had a set structure, they have set everything.
Hmm.
You as a consumer, you just buy an iPhone, you use it. You cannot customize it like you can do on an Android phone. If I want to edit the animation of the of an Android phone, I can just get into the root and change the opening animation. So
Hmm.
let's say if my phone shows Samsung, I can add our company name Crobstacle. On an Android phone you have that flexibility, but on an iPhone you cannot do that.
Right.
So iPhone is a close-ended, it has a closed walled garden.
So
Same is the
basically,
case
what
with Shopify.
Shopify does is it gives you a ready-made thing. It makes your life easy. It spoon feeds you, but a person who spoon feeds you will boss you as well.
Yes, exactly. So
Right.
Shopify does not give you much flexibility even if you want to remove or add. new fields in the checkout form. You need to pay extra. And if I talk about the plan, if you really want to edit the checkout process of Shopify, you have to pay $2,000 a month. I'm not saying year, it's $2,000 a month,
It,
which is pretty
it is very
expensive for
expensive.
anyone.
Yes, Shopify is expensive.
So that is the case with Shopify. And then if I talk about Magento, you can make modules. What are modules? Modules are basically features. So in WordPress, you call them plugins. In Magento, you can call them modules. They are very customizable. You can do anything with it. Magento is meant for heavy businesses, I will say, who have many products, many SKUs, because their backend has so many features that you can easily manage everything without any hassle. It's a
Okay.
heavy platform. And talking about OpenCart is also in the similar lines. But the major problem that OpenCart users face, I hope OpenCart guys don't mind it, but yeah, your platform is not upgradable, which has given a lot of issues to our clients. So that is the
So
problem. But
that
yeah, the
that
platform is good.
so the person faces challenges when they want to scale up their website, right?
Yes. Or they want to update the website. Like you keep on
Mm.
updating your phone, you cannot do that easily in OpenGuard. In the new versions, of course, it's possible, but in most of the Canadian and American businesses, they are still running on the old versions of it, which
Old
is
versions.
painful to now migrate to the
So
newer
that is
versions.
quite strange for a big firm like that, not
Yeah,
to.
it is. It is
I
pretty
mean,
crazy.
yeah. Why no upgrades? I mean,
Right. And why Shopify is one of the most popular platforms. I was reading their last year active subscription report. So approximately 649 million consumer purchased goods from a Shopify store in 2022.
mm,
So, from the statistics, if I say, when I tell you previously, 856 billion generated in revenue and 649 million consumers on Shopify, you can imagine
right.
the kind of impact they have made on the users. But yeah, this tells one thing, Ashwin, that you and I, we have been talking about since day one, that consumers are now moving more from the custom platforms,
Mm.
and they don't want that kind of a headache to take 10 months to just make one website. They
Now we
want more
haven't
of
actually
the,
explained our viewers what is a custom website. Let's
yeah,
explain
yeah,
them
yeah,
that.
of course,
So
of course, of
it
course.
is the mother of all websites. So we are saving it for the end. Let's talk about these customizable modular websites. So modular website by you can bring it at home.
You
It's
can
like do
drag
it.
and drop, you can easily play. Like you
It's like a
swipe things
DIY
on your mobile
table.
phone, it's like,
It's like a DIY center table or a DIY sofa that which you order from Amazon and you fix it at home yourself. But a custom website is more like calling the carpenter at home and bringing in teak wood and asking him to make something custom for you. So let's
right.
talk about custom coded website, the mother of all websites, which we love.
So first, I will start with the pros of having a custom coded website. So, of course, as the name suggests, it's a website that you developed using code. You write each and every single line of it, or you might use boilerplate. Now, what is boilerplate? Boilerplate is the code, is the basic code that is used to develop something. So, like, let's say when I'm making a home, so I will get a brick. The brick is already ready made for me. So that is boilerplate code, if I tell you. So the bricks are ready. You can take them from the internet, and then you have to join them using the cement.
Yeah.
So that's a custom coded website in very easy terms, if I tell you. Now, talking about the pros of it, you can do anything that you want on a custom coded website.
Mm.
You are the visionary here. The website we will build as per you. It will be functioning as per you. Will give you the exact user experience you want. So basically, it will turn your dreams into reality as you want it, if I tell you. Talking about the cons, it takes a lot of time. Number one, biggest thing is time. If you then this next thing is, you need to have a good development team, which will cost you a lot of money.
Mm.
This is the biggest con, I will say, for a custom coded website. Of
The
course, the pros are
time and effort that goes into it.
time and effort.
Mm.
But yeah, if I talk about, let's say you want to make the next
And
I will
time
say
and effort
any
converts into money. Mm. It is directly
time and effort
proportional
convert
to
into
money.
money. But if you are a big business, like let's say I will talk about Mama's website. If you
Mm.
are a business like that, then I will recommend you
Or
go
if
for a
you're
custom
planning to be a
build.
business like that, if you
Yeah,
want to
if you're
scale
planning to
up
be
over
someone
the
serious.
time, you have a 10 or 20 years plan, set ahead of you, and that you have a vision that you want to see yourself someday, and your platform to grow over the time. Then a custom coded website comes in very handy.
Yeah, because it has a lot of security. It has a lot of things that you can manage. So everything is in your hands. If tomorrow a data breach happens, you are responsible. You can, you can see the things and everything. So that is the thing with custom coded websites. Now, talking about marketplaces. Now, getting down to marketplaces, as we all know, we have the number one marketplace in the world, which is Amazon. In India, if I talk about, we have Flipkart, we have Snapdeal, which is now, I think, not very popular. We have, I will say, Mintra, and then there is this interesting marketplace, Misho, which lets you, as a consumer, buy and sell goods as well. So it is another interesting concept. I won't go into the details of it. And one thing I would like to add with the e-commerce bit of it is that D2C brands also make their e-commerce website, because they as a business are directly selling to the consumers. Now,
Correct.
getting back to the marketplace thing. So with marketplaces, if you have a vision that you think that in your area you can list all the stores, so
I
it
think
will
the
be kind of a
pioneers of
listing.
a marketplace would be eBay and platforms
Yeah,
like these,
eBay.
right? Yeah. eBay was the
That's
one of
it. That's how it
pioneer and a
started.
legend which was lost over the time. Right.
Right.
Yeah. We
Marketplaces
should not
can
forget
be
their name.
right,
Yeah.
and marketplaces can be work focused as well. So like you can say a marketplace could be for a specific product, like let's say there are car marketplaces,
Hmm.
there are book marketplaces.
Hmm.
Amazon started as a book marketplace. There are marketplaces for consumer goods, there are marketplace, so it can be anything.
Yeah,
So
or
these
used
are
goods like
generally,
Quicker and all. OLX is all used
yes.
goods.
Now, uh, talking about how you can make a marketplace, mostly marketplaces are recommended to build via the custom route, custom development route, because the complexity they hold. But you can also make a marketplace using WordPress and similar platforms. But the thing is that when you have a lot of vendors, when you have a lot of consumers going on the website, it might crash. It has happened in the past. That's why we have been telling. So, and when you have a marketplace, you surely would like to have an mobile application and an Android application in future. So it is recommended that you go through the custom route.
So
It
let's
will cost
actually
you
break
many,
up. Let's break up the components of a marketplace. There is a user login, there is a vendor login,
of
there's
course, of
yeah.
course.
So
Yeah.
let's
Let's tell
let's
our
explain
audience
the
more.
nitty-gritty what goes into a marketplace. So it's not as simple as an e-commerce platform, where all you need is a cart ad and shop
Right.
option. Marketplace definitely has those features, but it comes with a lot of other bags and
Yes.
baggage. So let's talk about those
So
things.
So the major things with a marketplace, what is different is you have a super admin,
Hmm.
you have a admin panel for the sellers, you have a panel for the consumers.
Hmm.
So first of all, you need to understand that there are three parties here. Now, compliance of the parties, what a buyer can add, what a seller can do on the website. Then you need to see the major thing in a marketplace is the process, how you are going to tell your buyer to add the products, what are the conditions that they need to fulfill. Because in a marketplace model and an Amazon, this has happened a lot, that if your competition says okay, you are selling it for 10, I will sell it for 9. So all of these things you need to take into you need to take into consideration. How will the shipping charge be calculated? Because of course, when you are working in a marketplace model, you need to understand the dynamics, because first of all, the product is getting from someone and then you are selling it to someone, and you here as a third party who has made the platform, you also need to make your margins. So you need to be very clear with that. So there is a lot of financial transactions involved through you, because you are at the end managing it. So
Right.
with the e-commerce website, the transaction directly happen between the seller and the buyer. But in a marketplace website, so let's say I am the owner of a marketplace, Ashwin is the seller who is listed on my platform. So whenever a buyer comes and buy from my marketplace, the money will come to me. I will deduct my commission and pay it to Ashwin. So the marketplace model becomes a lot different here. And then if I talk about the complications in terms of financials that is there, then another complication is managing the full database of a buyer into their, So like let's say one Ashwin is one seller of, he sells all the products. He has a Kirana store. Then there are multiple Kirana stores selling the same. Ashwin is selling Tata Salt for 50. You need to make sure that it goes from Ashwin's inventory. So the model becomes really complicated. I won't go very deep into this because it is a
So
complicated
let's
thing
delve
to
into the
understand.
I think, let's explain the complexities of the marketplace. A lot of time people don't understand the complexity before they dive into it. And
Right.
yeah, so I think we should delve into a little bit into the complexities, and without making it too heavy for our viewers.
Right. Okay. So, as I have already told, some of the complexities, the major complexity, let's talk from the buyer side, seller side first. So, as a seller, if you want to list on a marketplace, there are certain conditions you need to fulfill. So, if I talk about Amazon, you need to first get your KYC approved. You need to first get your business documents approved. Then the second step will be you need to get the products approved in the right category. So, if I am selling salt and I am labeling it as organic, Amazon team will get up to my nerves. They will get up to all these certificates because in a marketplace there is a lot of traffic involved, there is a lot of customer data involved. So as a marketplace owner, we need to take care of all these things, and as the seller who wants to list on this marketplace, we need to take care that you have all the things listed with you, because every marketplace has different requirements. If I want to list on GeoMart, they will ask me my FSSAI license, they will ask me for my GST certificate, incorporation, and so I will give you a case study. One of the clients that we are working with, they wanted them to list on Amazon as a manufacturer, but their GST certificate said as a distributor. So that's where our whole plan got cancelled because they couldn't list their company. First, the manufacturer needs to get onboarded, then a seller can come on the website and sell. So that is there in a marketplace. The complexity is there. And then if I talk about the sellers, so customer data is the key here. In a marketplace model, you cannot let your sellers get all the customer data because it concerns the privacy.
Yeah.
So here you are the data owner. So you
Data
need to
owner
make
is the
sure that the
marketplace
data does not
holder.
get leaks in any form. Like Amazon, many times even their data has gotten leaked and people have gotten into trouble because you are giving your card details. And
Right.
on a marketplace model, what generally we as consumers do is we save our card details, we save our addresses, we save our phone numbers. So it is a risky thing. A marketplace comes with a lot of responsibility on your head. You need to take care of that. Then the major part is the logistics, where most people do not get it really well. Of course, in e-commerce also there that is there, but in the marketplace model, it goes to the next level because in e-commerce, you know where your warehouse is exactly. In a marketplace, if the customer is taking from me, my warehouse might be in Dehradun and Ashwin might be in Bangalore. So, and from where you are selling, how you are selling, that shipping thing is going to give you a lot of headache, and that is the reason, one of the major reasons why most of the marketplaces and e-commerce companies are suffering, because the delivery part of it takes away a lot of their revenues. So that thing you need to figure it out. Of course, I am not a delivery expert. I won't get depth, in depth into it. But we, as a digital marketing firm, we work with a lot of clients, and I'm telling you, logistics is
Is
one of
one of
the
the
major factors before
major
you
portion
even
of
think
it.
of a marketplace. Think how you are going to fulfill the product, because the product, if Ashwin orders an egg from my marketplace, it needs to reach as an egg, not as an omelette. So that is the thing there. So you need to take care of that in a marketplace model. So it is a lot of headache, but if you are able to fulfill the logistics properly, maintain the databases properly, maintain the buyer seller relationship properly, and the buyer marketplace relationship properly by giving them timely payouts, because on marketplaces payouts are a very major problem.
Mm,
And for the sellers.
mm.
So if all of these things are corrected, then a marketplace model is successful. And talking about success of a marketplace model, around 79% of Americans make purchase online and 15% do so on a weekly basis using marketplaces.
Okay.
So these are some of the interesting facts. And talking about the Amazon dominance, to validate it, Amazon accounted for 45% of online shopping spending in 2018.
Mm.
So these are the as latest figures as I could get from
Mm.
the internet, but you can see how interesting it is
Now
getting.
we have spoken about the complexities of marketplace, right? So now let's talk about the technology to counter that. So for a marketplace, you definitely need a website and an application, right? So what is the technology that goes into it? What can I start a marketplace on a WordPress? I mean, these are the questions we get.
Got
Or
it.
I want to have a Shopify website and I want a marketplace on it. Uh, is it possible, or is it not possible? And if or is it possible but it is a bad idea? And what is the right way to go about it? And
So
when it
your
comes
question is basically if you can have a marketplace on Shopify,
Hmm. See, yeah, I mean that's the kind of question we get from clients, right? I mean,
right?
they come to us, I want a Shopify, but they actually want a marketplace. I mean, we are working
Right.
on that car dealership right now, second-hand car
Yes, yes,
dealership.
yes.
I mean, it's not a car
Okay,
dealership; it is a
interesting question.
marketplace for second-hand car dealership.
Right.
But initially when they came to us, if you remember, they wanted a Shopify website.
They wanted a Shopify website. Yeah.
So yeah, but now they're going for a custom coded website, correct? So I
Right.
mean, could they have had a Shopify website or a WordPress website? And like, if they had gone for that option, what would have gone wrong with that? And now then we'll obviously talk about the advantages of this is where actually the custom coded website is actually required. Let's begin with that. But
Right.
why a custom coded is required, and why one should not think about going for a modular website platform.
Right. So, talking about Shopify and WordPress, yes, you can have a marketplace, but why it is not recommended is because these platforms are e-commerce platforms. They are not meant for marketplaces. Developers have added those modules to make it look like a marketplace, but they are not meant for it.
Right.
Now, how I am saying this is if you see the structure of Shopify, so how Shopify has listed their pricing plan is in the basic plan, you can have this, which is not efficient, I will say, for a marketplace. Of course, their hosting will give you a lot of edge, their backend will give you a lot of edge. But if I talk about these are the top 10 items in the checklist, then Shopify is able to fulfill two. Now, talking about WordPress, WordPress will be able to fulfill those six things, but the major concern with a WordPress website is customer data. Your data is at risk, and especially in a marketplace model, the complexity it has. I will say to anyone who is getting their website, if you want to test the MVP version of a marketplace, WordPress is a good to go. But as soon as you start to see some hits and you are able seeing that your platform is scaling up, go get a custom coded website
So
and
the
use. And
scalability,
what
again,
you will do
like
is
we talked about it earlier in e-commerce as well, scalability is an issue with these platforms.
scalability is an issue.
Right.
So then what you can do is once you are getting some hits on your WordPress website, you can upgrade it to a custom coded website with a backend having in MongoDB. Maybe you can use Node.js. Maybe you can use any other backend technology that is there. Then you can use React for front end. And at the backend, if you still want to keep WordPress, you can create APIs to use WordPress just as the backend CMS of it. Your database is somewhere, your front end technology is something else, but WordPress is just something that is giving you visual to manage your backend data on the website.
Right.
It's just showing you, it's just in a user friendly manner. You don't have to write code to edit the data. Okay,
Right.
so that is there with a custom marketplace and WordPress and Shopify. Now, where a custom marketplace wins, a custom website wins. So custom website, first of all, you have the flexibility how you develop it. You can easily develop it on your mobile phone, tablet, web app, mobile app, Android app. Everything could have one database, and you are throwing it everywhere. With
And
the
all of
WordPress
it could be
website,
on
this
the
is
same
not possible.
technology. Your app and your website could
Yeah.
be on the same technology.
So for us also, we have developed one application using Flutter and Firebase. It is pretty easy. Tomorrow, if I want to make an Android application or an iOS app with just a few lines of code, I can easily convert it into that if I have knowledge. And even with our internal app that we are making, we have made it on such a platform that database will stay intact even if tomorrow I want to launch the Android and iOS app for it, even for the web app. Now, talking about the mobile functionality in marketplaces, it is pretty important with the CMSs like WordPress and Shopify. Shopify, of course, gives you a lot less flexibility in terms of how you want your website to look in mobile or look on mobile. WordPress is still flexible in a lot of terms. You can do most of the things, but if I talk about bringing in some new kind of looks, new kind of UI UX like Cred brought in, that is not applicable on a WordPress or a CMS based website. Of course, there are CMSs meant for it, but they won't have all of it. So that's
Right.
where custom coding comes into the picture. Now, talking about why mobile commerce is important in 2022, retail mobile commerce sales in the US amounted to 431 billion. So out of 856 billion, 431 billion were out of mobile. So if your marketplace or your e-commerce website is not optimized, you might lose on 50 to 60% of your sales.
Right.
So you need to keep that in mind. Now, if I talk about custom coding website, it will cost you a lot. The maintenance is pretty high. You need to have a developer onboarded to do it, but that is the right way to do it. Because if
Right.
you try to make a shortcut here, you are losing a lot on the customer data, and you might end up in jail if your data gets
Right.
lost.
No, no one wants to be in jail.
No, I'm
Right.
not trying to scare the audience,
No,
just
no. I
telling
mean,
them the
yeah,
hard facts.
it's not about scaring. It is actually, it's quite easy to get into jail when you're
Yeah.
not being careful.
And considering the e-commerce growth, it's just growing. Like in India right now, we are having 10-minute deliveries. We are having so many new things coming up daily, even across the world. So it is pretty easy for a e-commerce or a marketplace owner to lose their customers' data, which will put them into a lot of legal trouble
Mhm.
from the governments where they are
Right.
operating. So that is there. And I had one other e-commerce growth, fact check. The global e-commerce market rate peaked to 17.1% in 2021, with a projected continued growth for 8% in the next coming 5 years. So these are some of the facts that I got from Statistica, and I think they are pretty signaling to that the e-commerce future is really bright. So if you want to go into the
Well,
business, it
that
is
goes
bright,
unsaid.
but
It is bright. Huh?
yeah, it is bright.
Hmm.
But again, you need to take care of the factors that we have mentioned, because of course e-commerce will become more than a 6 trillion thing in the coming days, but you need to take care of the compliances. As we continuously are developing websites, we are learning policies are important, your so that there is transparency with the consumers. Your processes are important, how you are handling the data, because when a customer makes payment, even if it's through a payment gateway, that connection should be secured, because these days lots of scams are happening on e-commerce websites. So I think these are some of the major factors that you need to consider while even going for both the models.
Hmm.
So
Great. I think we have covered most of
I
it.
think
We
this
have,
was a very
yeah.
heavy podcast for our audience.
No, we have discussed about what is e-commerce. We
Yeah,
have discussed about the technology that could be used for e-commerce. Now, then we understood what is a marketplace. A marketplace, Anmol just said, there are multiple vendors out there. That is why it is called marketplace, because you're giving them a market. You know, there could be multiple. It's like going into a sari market where multiple vendors are selling it, and they're all giving you their offers. They're all shouting. They're all loud. And
right.
that is basically a marketplace. And now we have delved into the technology that goes into it. For a marketplace, it's always better to go custom coded, because eventually you would need an app, and you want to scale up yourself. There are multiple, technological nitty gritties that go into it, and only a custom code solution would suffice that. Great, Anmol. So this has been
Great.
a
I
great one,
think,
good one, yes. And
yeah,
if to our viewers, if you liked it, please drop in your comment, like and share and subscribe. If you didn't like it, or you can please share your
let us know
feedbacks in the
why
comments.
you didn't like it. We
Yes,
will surely take your feedback
yeah.
constructively.
If you found something was amiss, if you have certain thoughts that you want to still that we might have missed out on, you can again share it in the comments. We would be happy to share that knowledge with you. All right. Have a
All
nice
right. Thank you so much
day.
for watching. We will be back soon with the next episode. Me and Ashwin shooting in person together
In
after a
Dehradun.
long time. And yeah, we'll be back soon.
Let's do
Thank
it
you so much
somewhere
for
scenic,
watching.
Anmol.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, audience.
Bye
Bye.
bye.